And this, obviously, my podcast is titled The Wrestling in Film Podcast. I love the blend of wrestling and film. And obviously, with Machos, it's the iconic "Hey Freak Show" in
I got you for 3 minutes.
Yeah. In Spider-Man. I mean, I remember when I was very little and that came out and just being like, oh my God, like Macho Man and Spider-Man. It was the greatest thing for, 7-year-old kid to see.
Yeah,
Um, what was that like? As you said, you spoke to people on the extras and like chronicling that kind of because
yeah,
it's really in the grand scheme of things, it's a very small scene, but it's it's a really fun scene. I think people who are non-wrestling fans also really enjoy it.
yeah.
And again, it is basically Macho just being Macho
It
in
could have
Spider-Man.
been. I've seen there's a lot of when you do these books, you find these like rabbit holes and Reddit threads, and like there was a push for like a bone saw like comic and movie. Like, who is this guy? Like, where did he come from? Like, how is he? He's an underground wrestler in a cage who, like, he has bonettes. Like, this would be a fascinating story and a fascinating even comic of Bonesaw McGraw. Like, what a name too. And so yeah, I talked to some people on set, and they mentioned that like they were all like they grew up, they're in entertainment first, so they knew Macho Man, and Lanny told me he got the role 6 months out and had to really bulk up, and he looked like he was about to blow up. I mean,
Oh,
who
he was
knows?
jacked, yeah.
I don't know what, he was almost 50. Like, who knows what concoction of things he was on to get there. I interviewed, Paul Roma, who was a wrestler for a long time in the WWE, who made a joke. He's like, man, I knew Randy and we worked out. I knew him for a long time. I took my kids to see that, and it wasn't until like a minute and a half into the scene that I was like, like, is that Randy? Like, he didn't even recognize, because he said he was about to pop. Like, he looked like he was about to actually explode. And so he took it. He was there for 3 days and did, three different days of shoots. It was overnight and things like that. He took it seriously. He taught a lot of even the stuntmen, like, here's how this role is going to go. Here's how this is going to work. Here's, work with Tobey Maguire and all these things. And it's actually one of the craziest scenes there. He actually really hurt his neck. If you watch the scene, the fight scene, he does an upside down like monkey roll off the ropes. And if you watch it,
Mm.
he doesn't make the bounce onto his stomach. He lands on his neck, and he was out. Like, he was out on set for like 12 minutes. They were terrified. They thought he was paralyzed. They thought he's like 47 or whatever he was at the
Mm.
time. They thought he broke his neck, and he managed to get up, took a bunch more takes, and then didn't get out of bed for like 3 days when it was over. And
Wow.
even Lanny said that like for the rest of his life, I think he was turning left, he like turned his whole body left. He couldn't really move his neck. But he was all in on that, like he was with everything else. And you're right. It's I got you for 3 minutes. So the scene's maybe 5 minutes, but it's iconic. Like, you can't tell. People bring up Spider-Man, and maybe one of the only things you remember, especially about that first one, as big as that movie was that Macho was in it.